So there's an incendiary technique called a trailer, where they'll use a product to create a trail to what they want to burn. And so that's what they lit in the corner of this space. And you'll watch that fire develop. And you'll keep in mind, the fire has to be discovered. Someone has to initiate a 911 call, get the fire department coming. And then we also have the time that's required for the fire department response. And so today we're going to cut through some of that, but this just gives you an idea of what to expect and how quickly fires can develop. So we're trying to balance the suppression today with leaving some evidence behind for the examples. And this is only like a minute or two that the fire was going. Think about a typical fire department response maybe for 5 to 8 minutes. It takes almost another 2 minutes to get water on the fire once you get on scene. So you can just imagine how fully developed that fire will become. It's a great opportunity to see how the fire is going to rise to the ceiling. The heat's going to bank out from there. And we're going to go ahead and suppress it from there.
Open it up a little more.
So you can see how persistent the fire is too, right? We use water for fire suppression primarily, but you can see here that we've got to take the heat out of that room where the fire will actually stay. And so they put some water on it, they cooled it down. Now they're adjusting their pattern a little bit to try to take some evidence for us. Okay, so while they're completing that suppression, I want you to shift your focus a little bit to the left of our kitchen fire. A pot of grease is about to get excited. So I know we're asking you to kind of split screen with your watch both fires. But you can see how the fire suppression is going. They're further entering the building. They're putting more water on it. And it's just something to keep in mind. The fire department is going to take care of lives and property as best they can. Then they shift their focus to evidence preservation. We know on this one that it was a trailer, right? Because we designed it that way. But that's the kind of evidence we need to preserve. And when you guys get the call and you need to get that origin and cause expert out there, you really want to remind your clients to secure that scene, minimize the amount of people that go in that scene. If you have a board-up company, a restoration company that can help you secure the scene, all of those things will help because we really need that evidence preserved so that we can catch these types of things. So, one of the challenges here is you've got some guys that probably don't cook on a regular basis, trying to make a cooking fire. We'll make it happen. All right, so we've got this first cell, the fire suppressed. Thanks to our firefighters here. Hopefully don't overheat. We'll need you here in just a minute. But if you can kind of look while we're waiting for this other fire to get going, we can kind of take a look inside this first cell and try to identify some things, right? So what we do as fire investigators, we're going to come out to that scene and we're going to document the heck out of it. We're going to photograph the exterior, the interior, and then we're going to try to determine that room of origin if we can, area of origin. And this is a great scene to do this because I can look, I've got let's say a typical living room, but I've got some great patterns, and just some patterns tell us a lot. The two important things they tell us is movement of the fire and intensity of the fire. And I think you guys got to see it happen. We can come in later and we can look at the mass loss, look at the material that's gone on the sofa. And you can see, sometimes it starts off very simple. It's like, do I have more loss on the right? Do I have more loss on the left? What does that tell me? Well, it tells me I have more intensity on this right side. So it looks like our other fire's cooking off. I'm going to try to get in between here so I can let you. Oh yeah, so shift your focus to the kitchen now. So right, a lot of our kitchens have the stove. Sometimes above it there's a microwave, cabinetry, the refrigerator, other appliances around the cooktop. So you can kind of see how that fire progresses and brings those other items into the fire. The layer of smoke that you see is important to us investigators because a lot of times it'll stain the walls. And when the fire's out, you can actually see the line of demarcation, is what they call it, where the soot staining was. It gives us, again, a level of, gives us a measure of movement for the fire. When you look at some of your fire losses, you'll notice how that heat has gone up to the top of the ceiling, and then it starts to accumulate, and it starts to, we call it bank down, until it finds an opening. Once it finds an opening, then it's going to shoot out. At the same time, you've got cool air that's coming in the lower areas, feeding the fire. And so you'll hear us talk about things like a thermal layer. It's where the cool air and the warm air are meeting, and they leave specific patterns that we like to find. And if you had a window in this cell like you did the other, then you have additional ventilation that comes in that you have to consider as well. I'm thankful to whoever picked the wind direction today. Right? And so there's actually spaces down here that can be quite comfortable for people. People can survive down here even though all this mess is going on back here. So it's just amazing how these spaces work out. So our suppression folks say that our fires are out. We're going to let them cool down. But what we're going to do is we're going to have them move this hose to the side because we want to give y'all an opportunity to come up closer to where you can look. And we want to talk about what we're seeing inside of these burn cells. So give us a few minutes to let them get things squared away, and I will invite you up.